So if you're in the real estate market and you don't know the state of affairs of foreclosures as of September 2025, I'm going to cover that in this video. I'm also going to talk to you about how that ties into a little niche called surplus funds that you may have heard of, but if you haven't, I'm going to tell you why that's important to know. If you're looking to get into real estate, maybe you're an aspiring real estate entrepreneur, or even if you're a seasoned pro already doing real estate deals. So let's talk about what are surplus funds. So simply put, surplus is the overpayment, the spillover, the excess, the extra money that is generated from a foreclosure or a tax sale. So basically somebody loses their property because they can't pay their mortgage, or they lose it because they can't pay their property tax. So the formula is really simple. You take the winning bid, which is what somebody pays cash at an auction or tax sale, and you subtract the debt, what they owe to the bank or what they owe to their property taxes, and that's going to give you your surplus funds. As you can see here in this example, the debt being $250,000 is what they owed to the bank. And then the winning bid, $300,000, that would leave a leftover of $50,000 in surplus funds. And this can be, surplus can be anywhere from thousands or even hundreds of thousands. I've seen, not a lot, but I've seen over $1 million in surplus funds. Now, here's the kicker. Most owners or the heirs of these homeowners, they don't even know this money exists. Now, that's a problem. And at the same time, it's also an opportunity. And I'll touch on that here in a second. But let's talk about the foreclosure market in 2025. So as of the end of Q1 2025, there's 68,000 plus foreclosure starts, meaning that 68,800 families and homes fell into the foreclosure bucket, meaning that they're now in the stage we call pre-foreclosure, right? Just in June alone, there was 21,800 starts with 3,900 completed. So as you can see here in the chart, the trend for foreclosure starts continues to rise. If you look at 2020 and now you're looking at 2025, the trend line just continues to rise. Now, where there is problem, where there is chaos, there's also opportunity, and I'll tell you how that ties in here in a second. Now, but what's causing all this? Like, why is there such an affordability squeeze? Well, real simple. If you look at the rates, the fixed 30-year fixed rate is 6.5%, which is double the levels of 2021. And the income gap, the income versus the home price gap just continues to rise, right? Income is not rising at the same rate of inflation, the cost of living, and of course the median home price. You now have to make $112,000 just to afford a $447,000 home. Now, although inventory is up, payments remain really high. So even though there's more homes available, they're still extremely unaffordable. Now, what's behind all this, right? It's the property taxes. They're being reassessed nationwide. So those are increasing because now property values are much higher. Therefore, the property taxes are kind of, in parallel with the increased cost of homes. Home insurance prices got up 9% since 2023. There's a lot of things going on and reasons why. A lot of properties going up in flames, and there's a lot of reasons why these insurance companies feel like they're taking a lot of risks, and they're increasing rates. $2,470 on average per year just to afford mortgage insurance. So families are just being completely blindsided by increased taxes and insurance, and it's really pushing people out of the market in terms of being able to afford a home for their family, which is unfortunate. Now, the other element to that and the other factor is that unemployment rate is still very high. You got 7 million people still unemployed, 4.2%. What that means is that there's 7 million people that are either not going to be able to afford to pay mortgage payments or even rent. Now, you might say, well, what if these people don't have a home? Well, here's the thing. It's a trickle effect, a domino effect, because if you're renting a property from a small landlord, which most landlords are considered small landlords, unless you're a hedge fund and you own thousands of properties, these small landlords, like, this is their income. Like, their rental income is their income. So when somebody can't make rent, that landlord can't afford to pay their mortgage, and they default on their mortgage payments. So the wages just don't keep up, right? With the increased cost of housing and insurance costs, landlords and heirs are falling behind, and it's just a big vicious cycle of foreclosure starts, and it's all due to the macroeconomics and all the things in the climate and the things that continue to rise, the cost of food, the cost of gas, the cost of eggs. We don't want to talk about eggs, but that just kind of squeezes people out of the affordability bracket for home ownership. Now, by the way, if you're finding value in this type of knowledge, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. We're really trying to get those numbers up. So all your support is very much appreciated. I promise you I will continue to drop nuggets and gems on foreclosures, real estate, surplus funds, and sales tips. So like and subscribe. So let's get right back to it. Why surplus funds is lucrative. So this is a low barrier to entry business because there's really not a lot of startup costs. You don't need a license, you don't need a degree, you don't need to go to like some fancy school. The margins are really high because the recoveries are pretty large, right? You saw that $50,000 recovery. That's pretty common. There's $100,000 surpluses. There's $300,000, and so you can charge a fee every time you help a family recover their surplus or the heirs of a deceased homeowner. As long as you help them through the process, you guide them through the process, and you have the proper agreements in place, you can make anywhere from $10, $20, or even $50,000 or more per recovery. Now, the other beautiful thing about this business is it's recession resistant. So the business stays really level and really consistent in an upward market, meaning that things are going pretty good or okay, but especially in a downturn market, right? So when there's a lot more, right, there's a lot more blood in the streets per se. The foreclosure rates continue to rise, therefore creating more opportunity for folks like us working distressed properties and helping homeowners who are going through this unfortunate situation. Now, surplus funds as a business, who is this for? So it doesn't matter if you're a real estate pro, you're an agent, fix and flipper, you're a real estate investor, and you're doing deals already. This is a missed opportunity for, I would say, 99% of real estate pros, including wholesalers, because a lot of people that I talk to, when I ask the simple question of, hey, what do you do if your deal is dead, or like you lose your deal to foreclosure, most of them just think that that's the end of the road. But in reality is, if you know this niche, you have this strategy in your back pocket, whether you do it as a side hustle, a main business, or you even find an expert to partner with, you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're not opening your eyes to the opportunity to help a homeowner even after foreclosure. Now, this is also beginner friendly. So if you're somebody who's looking at real estate for the first time and you don't know if you want to get an agent license, you don't know if you want to start buying property, and maybe you just can't take on, debt, you can't afford to take on big risks, right? You can't afford to take on that kind of uncertainty. You don't have capital, you don't have access to capital. Or you're someone who's like, hey, I want to start a side hustle, right, in real estate, but I don't know which one I want. I don't know if I want to wholesale or, what I want to do. I want the lowest barrier to entry. I want a lot of support, right? I want a support system that I can lean on as I start to build this up, either as a side hustle or as a main business. You want to build this up as a, your own surplus funds empire. Like the whatever level you want to come at or look at this as either additional stream of income, side hustle, or main business. The beautiful thing about that is that there's something for everybody here. Now, if you guys are looking for the help, I have a blueprint I have systems, scripts, and mentorship in place for anybody at any level that wants to look at this business as, like I said, an additional stream of income, a main business, or even a side hustle. So the Surplus Funds Collective, that's the name of our community. We're on School. You can see the link in our description if you need the help. If you don't, that's fine too. Just like and subscribe. That would be huge for me. But if you're looking to get training and mentorship, particularly from an expert, someone who's been doing this for 12 years or more like myself, going on 13 years, maybe you need access to systems like CRMs, automations, AI tools, contracts, templates, or maybe you're just like, hey, I just want a JV. I want to just like send deals to an expert and I want to get paid $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 on my dead deals or the deals that I have no time to work on. We can do that. So if you need that kind of help, you need that kind of support, just reach out to me. Check out the links in my bio. We have a community. We have live calls for support. The live calls are gold because a lot of people looking at this business, they might get to a certain point and then they feel stuck. The live calls were designed to get people unstuck, okay? So if you're looking for that type of help, you want to build a surplus funds business with an expert, whether you're a beginner, you're a real estate pro, you're already doing surplus funds deals, maybe you've done a deal or two, but you're looking for some more guidance, you're looking to expand your wings, you're looking to tap into bigger markets, you're looking to maybe lean on some expert guidance, maybe someone who has a strong back-end team to handle complex files, whether it's a simple deal, whether it's just a homeowner, they're still alive, or whether you're dealing with like a probate process or some kind of complex situation. We have the system, the scalability, and the team to take it all on. So again, if you're looking for this kind of help, you know where to find us. You can even check out surplusfunds.ai and even schedule a free strategy call with me to talk about, hey, whether this is for you or not. No pressure, no sales pitch, just a conversation with me or someone from my team to see if this might be a fit for you. So I will see you on the inside. If you're going to be looking at either our free community or even booking a strategy call to see how this might be a business for you, or if you just want to hang out and watch the YouTube videos that I put out, I promise you I'll drop more gems like this, and I will see you on the next video. So you guys have a good one.